Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be resuming the game of CSGO between Team Invictus and We Are Overpowered. We lastly left you guys at the second round between these two teams, and we are going to be doing the
second round in the first OT as well. So that's something we, couldn't actually go on with, and we will be going on live anytime soon. And this is something which I really didn't expect, like I was telling about between both these teams. The last time these guys met, it was a 16-2 in favor of Team Invictus. And coming from there, just about yesterday, just in about one day, we saw just Team Invictus going on to 15-15, and we are actually going to see the overtime as well. And mind you, the first round of overtime was won by VR Overpowered as well. So that's something which is something really good heading into the second round.
And that is quite a contrast to what we have seen of VR Overpowered previously in their matchup versus Team Invictus. You see that this is not the same team which actually faced Team Invictus. They're performing really well, and their game, as I said previously, they're just playing it like leading around Team Invictus around the map, making sure that they have that confusion game going on in their favor. And Team Invictus, they are falling for that most of the time, and in the rare cases that they don't fall off, they are getting paid for a lot of time. Those exchanges are not really lenient. They're costly. You lose 2 or 3 of your players when you're taking an engagement against VR Overpowered, and they are coming out on top every time. And
I mean, not just that, even though Invictus, the way they played was pretty good, they had a really good team game, and their retakes were eventually pretty well. We actually saw a lot of retakes getting converted successfully for them, but that sadly was not the case for VR Overpowered. But they still managed to get that, and they also got the lead to 16-15 at the end of the first round of the first overtime. That happens to be their actually first lead. Compared to their first time they had it in the first pistol round, I would say. And I think that's something which is quite surprising, or I would say they played it out really well. As we are going into the second round, finally we are going to go on to the second round in this game between both these teams, and let's actually see how it's going to pan out. It's all even Steven right now, 16-16 both these teams, and we are going to go right now on to the it's actually going to be the last round in the first half of the first OT, and let's see how it's going to pan out for them. We are going to see a default 3-2 coming out there from Team Invictus, one of them watching mid, 2 of them going on to B, and 2 of them at A as well. So while we are going to look at VR Overpowered making their way on to second mid as well, while the Bomber is still at T base, T ramp I would say rather, trying to make sure the others are trying to spot out people out there from Team Invictus, while we are going to see Master Me as well as Pasha Sahil making sure that they are going to get flanked upon by 2 of the people from Bananas, and they are having their precautionary measures pretty well as well. So we are going to see Jan making his way onto a apartments, while a couple of guys are there right outside apartments, while we are going to see Binary Bug making his way right onto the track, the cart as well, while we are going to see Owned who's going to take down the first guy from Team Invictus. That happens to be NATO, which is going to leave them into a 5-4 advantage. Team VR overpowered are right now with 5 people, while it's going to be Team Invictus at the receiving end of just 4 people. While we are going to see the guy at Archers stepping a little back. Probably they are quite trying to play the mind games at the moment, because as you had actually seen in the previous rounds, we saw Team VRO Power making their way onto A, trying to fake it out and then going on to B.
They played it very delayed. They played really slow, and that pushes Team Invictus. That just makes them a little uncomfortable.
And speaking about pushes, we are going to see the push coming out there from Team VRO Power. 3 of them going on to Archers, and let's see how it's going to pan out. The smoke's coming out there, and that is going to give them some information that this could be an A. The flash coming out there, blinding Rippies, but he is now back from the flash, and let's see whether he is going to try to take down the people right now. He's going for the reload, while 2 of the people from Team VRO Power are making their way onto Archers, and let's see how it's going to work out, because they are going to make the plant right now, and Ribby is still right now at Library. Let's see whether they can take it down. 4 people out there, and let's see whether they are trying to take it down as well. This is going to be really interesting to see how it's going to happen, as they are going to go for the they should go for the defuse as well. Oh my god, this is going to go right in the favor of Team VRO Power, because Pasha Sahil is the last person alive, and looks so as if he has no other option than to go and try to take it out, given that this is anyways the last round in this first half. Let's see whether this is going to go in their favor. I think that is going to go in favor of Team VRO Powered, as they are going to end this half on a high.
Almost too hopeful. Pasha, he had that opportunity to actually play this a little bit safer. He could have actually gone full on Rambo, but
that really didn't make a point. If you're going to look at the number of people who were alive while he made his way onto that, you actually saw that beautiful wall bang coming out there from On, because we realized that I guess even those guys realized that there is always a guy right on top of that ledge trying to take that boost and all of that, and I think that really worked out for them. And a beautiful spray transfer coming out there from John, making sure that 2 of them are going to go down. And Pasha Sahil, even though he was able to get that one shot, that really could not do that much of what it can do, but that really did not work out in their favor. And that is leading us to the second half. In this overtime, we see Team VRO Powered with that slender 1-round lead, and let's see whether they can actually close it down. We have 3 more rounds into this half as well. All they need is about just 2 more rounds for them to emerge victorious, and looks as if there is a pause as well coming out there from this team, and probably a lot of strats and all of that to be noted down and probably to be changed to see how it's going to happen, as we are going to go live with the first round of the second half in this first overtime between the first match in this BO3 finals between VR Overpowered as well as Invictus.
And this is by the way, Tango, congratulations for saying so many words and confusing everybody in this place.
And speaking about the scorecard, just look at the. We actually see 2 30 bombs coming out there from one of Team Invictus's players as well as VRO Power's players. Let's see how it's going to pan out right now. We are going to see 3 people sticking onto A from Team VR Overpowered, and Invictus are making their way onto second mid, and probably they are going to go onto the A site right now, because we are going to see about 4 people coming out there from Team Invictus making their way onto apartments, and we see the bomber Pasha Sahil making his way inside, and he really does not have an idea that there is a guy at carpet, and I think that is something which is not going to work out really well. We don't see a guy from Team Invictus at mid as well, so the cover from mid is not going to help him out if he is going to go down as well. And Faisal being the guy who is guarding,
he did make some noise though. He did throw a grenade onto that stairway, and that did reveal his position. But VRO Powered Faisal does manage to get that kill onto Ribby, and we are going to be
as if it's going to be Invictus who are making their way onto Poilers. We see one more person from Team Invictus making his way from carpet, and let's see whether Faisal is going to spot him out, because there's not much of sound, and looks as if the flash is going to get primed up, and that is going to act as a distraction, as Faisal is going to take down one more kill out there, and this is going to go, I guess, in favor of Team VRO Powered. But I don't think that is going to be the case, because we are going to look at Team Invictus making their way all the way on to Bananas, and they're going to make their way on a B. The smoke's being primed up out there, and they are making their way on a B side. There is a guy at New Box. If he's going to spot him out, that's going to be an easy B right now, because there is a guy from construction coming out there from Team VRO Powered. Let's see whether he's going to take him out. It's going to be Jan who's going to do the damage onto Pasha Sahil, and that's going to be a pretty much easy B, I would say, for Team Invictus if they are going to go and make that plan. All they have is about 20 seconds, but it's going to be Danny who's going to do the damage, and the bomb is down, and it's all up to NATO to get this into a 1v4 to his favor, and that is going to do a lot of damage if he is not going to do that, because we still see about 2 people from constructions, and that's going to be Danny making the play, I guess, of this game, and that is going to lead them onto the match point. I would say a beautiful play coming out there, and Faisal making that damage felt at A, and while Danny is going to do the same thing at B. We saw Masami almost going to go for that plan. We saw that wall bang coming out there from Danny. He's going to take down one, and this was a I would say this was a death blow coming out there from Danny's P250. He was able to take down the last guy from.
I guess the coffins are quite shallow, huh?
I mean, I would probably say that on a lighter note, as we are heading into the match point, the first round of this BO3 finals is gonna come down to the close. I guess if Team VRO Powered are gonna get this onto their favor, we are gonna see. Oh, this time we're gonna see about just one person from Team VRO Powered onto B, while we are gonna see 3 people from their team going on to A. One of them making their rotations as well, and I think I think they're actually switching their places, and this is quite surprising because a 4 people stack at A compared to a 1-person B when all of them have bought their guns. That's quite surprising, because I think given the track record of how Invictus have been playing this half, I think they are going to predict that this is going to be an A, and let's see how it's going to work out. We actually see all the 4 people out there, and this actually could go either ways. If Invictus choose to go on to a B rush or something like that, that's not really going to work out well, and I think that is going to be the case right now. Just 1 minute into this, we still have about 1 more minute into this round, and let's see how it's going to work out. We see the rotations coming out there. Oh my god, this is giving a lot of time coming out there, and looks though as if Team Invictus are going to make their way on to B, and the bomber, however, is the farthest from the corner, and I think they are going to head into B as well. This can prove costly for them, because by the time they are making their way on to B, we saw 3 people coming out there all the way from A and making the rotation. Masami is going to take that first track, but that's going to be I guess that's going to be a lot of damage onto Ajo, because he gave the beautiful shot coming out there from the smoke, coming out there from the off from Danny. Is going to make sure that's going to be one person who's going to make it pay, and the bomb has been planted at the moment. That is going to give them an added advantage, a lot of time for them to cover, and let's see how it's going to work out right now for the 4 people from Team VRO Power, all of them right next to CT as well as construction. Let's see how it's going to work out right now, as Invictus are going to make sure that they are going to pay right now. It's going to be 2 kills, and Faisal's going to trade it out, and all of a sudden it's going to be a 2v2 right now. Danny with that P250, he's trying to take down Pasha Zahir. He's already low at the moment, and that is going to be a 1v1 right now. Can Danny clutch this out? The plan is in favor of NATO. Let's see whether he can fake it out and juke it right now, as Danny is going to go for the defuse, and we are going to look at Invictus trying to take it down, and they successfully did that. It was just about seconds where Danny was about to do what he did at the first round of this game, where he did that. He never faked that. He just went on for a full defuse, and that really did not work out for him this time. Danny with a beautiful shot from that scope coming out there, and it was also through the smoke, which is quite surprising as well, and also good to watch, and that was good play coming out there from Team Invictus.
And this is just extending their stay in this first game right now, as we are going to be looking at the last round in this overtime. If Invictus just manage to, secure this, that is going to go towards the second overtime, I presume. And if VRO Power do manage to clutch this out, this is going to be their game.
Oh, but it looks though as if they are making their way onto A. It's already 1 person down for Team Invictus. It's going to be Ajo who's going to take that opening frag onto Pasha Sahil. That's going to do a lot of damage on Team Invictus's morale as well, because this happens to be the last round, and they are just with 4 AKs. They don't have an op as well, and this is going to be really hard for them if they are going to go on to full. They are going to go on to A, because we already see a couple of guys, and there is a guy coming out there, and that's going to be Danny who's going to deal the damage with the op as well, and he's been the most valuable player for Team VRO Power right now. There's going to be one more as well, and Danny's going to take that one, and this is going to be a 4v2 in favor of Team VRO. But are they going to clinch this out and take this first game? That is just about some more time for us to decide whether this is going to happen or not, because we see both the people from Team Invictus still at mid, and let's see whether they can make a play right now, because they are not making any action at the moment, which is leading to Team VRO Power to go for the rotations. We actually see 2 people who were there at A making all their way onto B, and I think this is a smart play coming out there from Team Invictus. Can they actually clutch this out and try to get this bomb plant, at least try to buy them some time, because all they have is about 30 seconds and 4 people to hit, and this is something which is really going to go in their favor if they are going to go and clutch it out, because we see 1 person from Team VRO Powered at right out there, and it's going to be Masami who's going to take down one, which is going to leave just 1 person from Team VRO Powered at A, and that is going to leave 1 person from Team VRO Powered who happens to be Owen, who's making his way all the way from B, and looks as if both of them are going to rotate right now. Danny Danny is going to be the last person alive at A, and he's got a lot of things to do, and it's going to be Binary Bug who's going to take down one as well, and that is going to leave A free, while we are going to see Owen who's making his way from Arches, and we see both of them making it all from Arches as well. The bomb has been planted, and let's see whether they are going to try to figure it out, whether they are going to get this round, because this is about time where VRO Power are going to go for the defuse, or they can go and try to take him out. There's going to be John who's going to try to assist, and it's going to be Owen who's going to take him down as well. Master Me is going to go down. It's all up to Binary Bug and Eju at the moment. It's a 1v1. He's going to go for the defuse as well. Not a lot of time remaining, and one good thing about it is he's going to kid, but that is not going to do anything, but that is going to be another round for Team Invictus. And with that being said, that is going to be another overtime where we are going to look at what a game this is proving to be. Both these teams fighting for, you know, the first map, and if this is the case for the first map, just imagine what the second and third are going to happen to, because the second is going to be Mirage and third is going to be Nuke, as we are heading into the first round in the second OT in this first match.
And this is, you know, quite surprising, because we are overpowered. I expected them to actually clutch that round because they had a 4 versus 2 lead, but sadly this was not the case, and we are going to be looking at overtime number 2's first round. Invictus playing over at the terrorist side, and we do see the bananas getting contested right here. We do see Binary Bug, he's over at 13 HP, as Pasha, he's going to be making his way towards bananas, trying to go for that peak, and he does manage to spot out 2 people. He just gets back, and that is going to force out VRO Power to make the rotations onto the B side, as Ribby and his friends are gonna try to, you know, just settle and go slowly towards the B side.
But I think this can go either ways, because given that Invictus have all the 5 people together, I think the nades have already done their damage, because you see all of them, none of them are at full HP, and we also see Binary Bug, who happens to be the bomb carrier with about 13 HP as well. So anytime if there is something like a team fight coming out there anytime soon, that's not really going to help Team Invictus, unless they are going to use their utilities, which they are going to do it right now, and I think this is going to be B, and the mollies coming out there from both the people from Team Invictus are going to do some damage onto some of the players. Oh, but return molly coming out there from the CTs is going to prove that you know, the T's are not going to go in front anytime soon, as they are making their way on a B. That's going to be 1 kill from John onto Pasha Sahil with his max 7. Ribby is going to take down 1 as well. Masami has spotted 1 guy, but little does he realize that there is a guy right to his left side, all right into the smoke, and it's going to be Masami who's going to take down 1. That happens to be John, but there is a guy who is low out there, and he's going to go down as well. Ribby is going to take him down, and another smoke coming out there onto CTs is going to make sure that the B can be a place where they can plant, but it's going to be Danny who's going to be defiant at the moment, and he's going to go down as well. Masami making sure that 3 kills is going to help him out. 2 kills coming out there from you know, the left side, and that's going to leave Faisal as the last person alive. That's not going to help them out, as well as Ribby is going to make sure that they are clinching this first round in the second OT. Beautiful play coming out there from Team Invictus. They were the first ones to get a lot of damage onto them. The nades as well as the mollies coming out there doing a lot of damage, and that literally was like, you know, 4 people alive, because we already saw Binary Bug with just about 10 or 13 HP, and that really didn't help their case, and we saw them just get inside, all guns blazing, 2 mollies into that, and 1 molly right onto them, just smoking it out and going inside and taking 3 people. That was a beautiful play coming out there from Invictus, and they were, you know, quite exquisite in their executions, I would say.
And we are seeing VRO powered. They're going to be playing this a little bit more careful. They don't want any of those shenanigans happening over at the B side. As Team Invictus, it seems like they have changed their mind. Ribby is going to be going towards second mid, maybe, you know, teasing up. And look at Danny, he is too far in. He is just trying to go a little bit more aggressive. Danny, I don't, what is this position?
This is going to get really interesting if Danny is going to push it out, because he can probably get about 2 or 3 kills, and that's going to be 1 right now, and Ribby is right next to him, and he takes that frag, and he's going to take another one, but no, that's going to be Owen who actually hits him right onto the head, and let's see whether there is going to be more frags coming out there, and Jan is going to take down Pasha Sahil, courtesy of that M4 as well. It looks as if Team Invictus are making their way onto A, given that there's just only 1 person from Team VRO onto the side. That happens to be Eju, who is right onto the crate next to the side, and Masami is not going to spot him. He's going to spot him at the last moment, and he takes him down as well, and I think he can actually take another one as well, as we see Owen as well as his teammate making their way right from you know, boilers as well as apartments, and this is going to be really interesting, because both these places where usually people will be standing are going to get mollied, which is going to give them a lot of different angles for them to peek out as well. And one great disadvantage for Team VRO powered is that both of the players are low, and that's going to be 1 person who's going to go down as well. Master Me is going to take down 1, and that's going to be all up to John, and that is not sadly going to help their case, as Master Me is going to take 1 more, and he's going to finish off 3 wounded enemies like you just saw, and 2 quick rounds on to the second OT is going going to help them out, and that is going to just leave them with just 2 kills. I mean, two more rounds for them to win, and that was a beautiful play coming out there. Danny with that opening frag, even though he got traded out by Ribby, he made sure that they were able to get inside A, but that sadly was not the case, as Master Me was, I would say, the MVP of this round. He made sure that he stood his ground and he was able to get those sides right under his control, and that seems to, help them out. That actually helped them out in the previous round, and we are going to see a B-push coming out there from Team Invictus. The bomb is going to go at D-base, and I think that is not going to help them out as well. VROP are going to get 3 kills right now, and Ribby is going to go. He's actually at gutter, and let's see whether he can spot out the people who are going to push from bananas. And looks like as if John and his teammate are not going to make that move anymore, I guess, because they pretty much know that they haven't still spotted the bomb, and I think that is something they need to work out as well. So let's see how it's going to pan out right now, as they are just 5-2 in favor of Team VR overpowered. Are they going to get one more round in their favor and try to reduce this lead to 1? And that's just about we just wait and see, and that's just about time. We are going to wait and see how it's going to happen, as we are going to see Team Invictus sneaking their way all the way from the tunnels, and let's see how it's going to pan out. We are going to see a Team Invictus player. He's going to, it's just 1 HP is what Ribby is having, and let's see how it's going to pan out. He's taken a lot of damage, and that happens to be the bomber as well. So that's literally going to be a 5v2, and it could also be a 5v1 if just about one grenade or something is going to land right onto Ribby, because he's pretty much low at the moment, and it's just about one more round where we are going to end the first half of the second OT. Let's see how it's going to pan out. 5 people alive still for VR overpowered, all of them with different scopes of guns. We see the M4, we see the Eagles, but that's going to be Owen and John who are going to do the damage, and that's going to be the end of the second the first half of the second OT coming out there in this game. And let's see how the second half is going to help them out.
I mean, this is just looking very, very long right now. We see how exactly Team Invictus actually had the advantage, but it looked like the utility usage coming up from VR overpowered. I mean, just 3 people just died in the first 5 seconds.
I mean, that is something which is sad. And looking at the scoreboard, this is being a surreal contest between Master Me as well as Danny on who is going to reach the 40 bomb. We just see that they are just 2 and 3 kills away from that, and both of them leading from the front. They are making sure that the opening frags are theirs, and that is something which has come out to their advantages for both these teams. The Mollies coming out there from Team Invictus are making sure that they are going to try to delay the run coming out there from VROP, as that's going to be Faisal who's going to go down first from Master Me's M4, getting a tag over there from one of their players as well, which is going to land them in a disadvantage. And right now Team Invictus are at the driver's seat. 5-4 is a player advantage at the moment, and they have a 1 round advantage as well. They could pretty much close it in if they are going to win this round as well as the other one. And let's just see whether that is going to happen, because we still have about 1 more minute to see where this outcome of this round is going to go out, because the bomb is still at T-Ram, while we see 3 people from Team VRO powered right at mid. So I think they still are quite indecisive on where they want to go or where they want to execute, because what is something which they don't have right now is going to be time as well as 1 more player. So I think it's about time where they are going to act really quick, because if they want to go for a fake or something like that, this would be the right time. Or that's not really going to help them out if they are not going to do that. While we still see them staying at T-Ramp, while Team Invictus are making sure that they are not, peeking out and making a mistake or something like that. The flash or the molly is going to get primed. The incendiary is going to get primed up by Master Me, making sure that they are going to waste some more time from, what they have from Team VR overpowered. Looks though as if they still have no idea where they're going to go, and I think this seems to be a B at the moment. While Master Me is making his way on a CT, but he realizes that there are some sounds coming out there. But the flash is going to stall them for some more time. Just about 15 seconds. They have the bomb as well. They need to plant it. All Team Invictus need to do is right now to make sure that the plant is not being made, and that's going to be 1 person down. That's going to be, oh my god, that's a beautiful spray coming out there. He's going to take down 3 people as well as the bomb, and that is going to be the round for Team Invictus. What a play coming out there from that first. He's going to take down 3 people, and that is going to do a lot of damage for them, as Team Invictus are going to get this 1 round, and they are into the match point. 3 quick frags, a water spray transfer coming out there, and I wouldn't just blame it on them. They just came right onto the line of fire as well, and this is a surreal play coming out there from Master Me, making sure that even though the time was wasted, they just have about 5 or 6 more seconds. If they had, taken out Master Me, that could have been a round for Team VRO. That sadly was not the case. We saw two of them coming right onto the line of fire and making that a 3K for, Master Me, making sure that they are on the upper hand. And all the 4 AKs coming out there from Team VRO Powered, they are trying to make their way onto B. We see the bomb still at the T ramp, as we are going to see Aju and Faisal who are going to go down, and Master Me making those plays connect again. Two kills coming out there for, Team Invictus, making sure that they are in the driver's seat right now. 4v3 is the situation right now which Team Invictus are facing. They are in the advantage. Ribby has a clear idea. He's going to take down one as well, and that is going to lead them in a 4v2 right now. Ribby is going to make sure that he can take down one more guy, because the smoke is going to get faded right at the moment, and if Old is going to go out, he is going to take him down, and Ribby is going to take down one as well. It's all up to Danny. Can he get the miracle? Can he stay? Can he get this 4 kills and make sure he is going to stay for one more run? He's going to take out Ribby as well, and now he has this Herculean task of getting 3 more people or getting the bomb planted, because we see 2 people from Team Invictus at B, one of them making the rotations at the moment, and the other guy, Binary Box, right at the pit, and they have just about 50 seconds to make that decision, and I think a lot of pressure coming out there is going to rest on Danny's shoulder, because this could be the now or never round which the VRO Power have it
to work with.
I mean, yes,
he's
that
going
is
to pick up a smoke right now, but I don't know how much that is going to lead up to him getting this victory over this round, as he is going to be arming himself with that Tech 9, and look at him just going towards the B site right here. There is one guy inside of the site, but I don't think he's actually spotted him out.
He does not spot him out, and there you go. It's going to be Master Me who's going to do the damage, and that's another 3K for him. 2 3Ks back to back in, two quick rounds, and that is going to be the first map in favor of Team Invictus. 22-19. What is going on?
I mean, VROP just, showed us that they are not someone you have to underestimate. They did put up an amazing fight, and you have to give commendations where it's due. Danny played that extremely well. Aju also played that pretty well, and it just felt like the role which Master Me had going on in that second overtime, that was quite unstoppable. The last 2 rounds where Master Me actually got those 3 kills that with the collateral, and also the one in the last
round as well. I think those 2 rounds were pretty crucial for them to get those rounds, and I think that is something which I would say Master Me was the MVP of this game, of the first game of this BO3 finals, because the way he played in the last 2 rounds was quite impeccable. Those 3Ks coming out there from both the rounds, especially the first round where he just came out from construction and took down all the 3 people coming out there from bananas and coming for the plant. That was what the icing on the cake was. The thing is, all they had was about 6 more seconds for them to go for the plan, and if he had just missed one of them, that would have been the end of that round for them. They could have just got some plant. They could have got the plant and bide some more time, probably 30 or 45 more seconds, which they could have reacted. That sadly was not the case, and I think that was a clear game in terms of competition. I would say both of them coming down right down to the wire, I would say.
Well, Tango, I'm really excited to see what the second map is going to be and how these teams are going to be playing this, because the first map you saw, the VRO Powered and Team Invictus, they are quite equally matched, and this is going to be one hell of an exciting game. So this is going to be how the game is going to be, because we are going to be seeing the stats in a little while and see who exactly performed extremely well.
I mean, not just that, I think the second map is going to be Mirage, which is quite, that's more like,
it's a new Dust 2.
Dust 2 is back onto the competitive pool, so you're still in the previous patch, I guess. So speaking about that, I think that is going to be really surprising to see what the stats are going to come as, because as we are going to look at Sahil Pasha, also known as Pasha Sahil, which is IGN, with those 32 kills, and look at that ADR, it's about 85 every round, so that's about fairly a good damage, and he's got about half of his shots as his headshots, and I think that's something which is quite, he acted as a catalyst coming out there in that first game.
He enabled all the players from the side of Team Invictus to actually perform their best.
I mean, yes, that's what. Even though we saw, Master Me making sure that he was, getting on to 40 kills and all of that, it was, I would say, Pasha Sahil was making sure that the first few rounds, as well as the tempo of the game was going in terms of Team Invictus, even though they were almost, losing it. What could have been done in regulation time just went on to 2 overtimes, and I think that is something which they will be looking into the second map. And I think with that being said, I think Pasha Sahil really played it really well as well, as master me, because both of them played it impeccably well. The last few rounds making sure that it was in the bag of Team Invictus, and I think that is something which they will be looking forward to in the second game as well, which happens to be Mirage. A lot of strats, a lot of different strats coming out there, and the map knowledge will be coming into use
Mirage
as well.
Is quite a map where you can't really spread about that much, and you can't really lead them around a lot as you can do in Inferno, and that is going to show up in Mirage, where VROP, their usual strat is to lead Invictus around by their nose, and that is not going to work out as well in this map, especially because the amount of verticality that Mirage has with those Palace and the apps over there, and that is going to matter a lot in this game. Since
yes, speaking about Mirage, that's a beautiful map to play in, and you have a lot of different smokes and strats coming out there. And even the previous patch, when the skyboxes were removed as well, so that's going to add a lot of new different smokes, which a lot of people wouldn't have seen on YouTube as well. So I think that is something we need to look out for. There are a lot of smokes coming out there, and utilities which are going to get used. We saw a beautiful use of utilities from both these sides, making sure that the last 30 seconds or 40 seconds were pretty crucial when you're looking at how the utilities were made, even though those nade kills coming out there were pretty crucial for both these teams. And I think looking at how it was, that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the utilities.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with game number 2 between Team Invictus and VR Overpowered after a short commercial break.
multiple awards for its exceptional.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be looking at the second game of CSGO between Team Invictus and VR Overpowered. Team Invictus did manage to clinch victory very hard in the first game.
I mean, it was pretty much, really close, I would say, coming on to, they had a pretty much good lead. About 11-4 was the lead, and then it all came down to the overtime, and that was not it. And we just went on to the second overtime, and that is where we found out who the winner of the first game was, and that happens to be Team Invictus, as they clinched it in a spectacular fashion. I would say the last 3 rounds went clearly in their favor, and they eventually won it with 22-19 as the scoreline, as we will be heading into the second map, which happens to be Mirage.
And it was actually picked up by VR Overpowered. So this actually gives room for this question, actually, because the first map being Inferno was being picked up by Team Invictus, and you saw their performance. It was good, but VR Overpowered also showed equal amounts of dominance. And this map was especially being chosen by VR Overpowered. And do you think that has anything to do with how the game is going to proceed?
I mean, yes, certainly, because unless if it's gonna be something like your comfort map, I don't see a reason why you would be picking it, unless your opponents, if you feel like your opponents are not quite up to the mark in Mirage. So I would be expecting some better play coming out there from Team VR Overpowered, and I wouldn't be surprised even if they're winning it, as we are heading live into the second game in this BO3 finals between VR Overpowered as Team Invictus. Team Invictus 1-0. We are here for the second game.
As we see right here, Mirage is, as I said, one of the most played maps in CSGO after Dust 2. And this is a map a lot of you guys should be familiar with right now, as we are seeing VR Overpowered are going to be playing over at the terrorist side, while Invictus are going to be over at the CT. And we see VR Overpowered, they are going to be going with the bomb. 3 people over at the B apps. And we do see VR Overpowered, they have 2 more people over at A mains. And that is going to be a little bit of a distraction, maybe just trying to secure some frags here and there, as Danny is going to try to go for the kill, but no, he's going to get killed up by MasterMe, and that is going to be first blood getting drawn out by Team Invictus. And this has suddenly turned out into a 4 versus 5 situation, as we are Overpowered over at this pistol round are not performing as well. They have their momentum actually getting stalled up by Team Invictus.
But it looks as if they are making their way on to B, and looks as if the bomb has been dropped, and it's going to be MasterMe who's going to get down 2 kills out there, right onto Owned as well as Faisal. There is another guy right at Apps, and I think they are not going for it. And let's see how it's going to work out, as Jun is making his way on to the mid area. And I'm really surprised to see how it's going to pan out right now, as we are going to see how these guys are going to try to get the bomb as well, because he just landed the bomb right onto Team Invictus's corner, because we have about 3 people from Team Invictus out there, and it's going to be Nato as well as Pasha Sahil who's going to do the damage, and they're going to take the last 2 people.
That was just a little bit of that was really bad execution by VR Overpowered, to be honest, because you saw that 2 of your teammates have not really made any distractions over at A, and they just rushed into B. And even though their first fragger got killed really sadly, they kept on going, and that was the fact when I knew that VR Overpowered, they messed up. They did not have the efficient usage of utilities, even though that was a pistol round, and you saw it right there. They did not even have a smoke. And we are going to be looking at round number 2 right now. All deagles coming up for VR Overpowered, and Invictus, they have around 3 SMGs, a FAMAS, and an M4. So this is looking to be really strong for them, as we see MasterMe, he is going to be jumping around over at B apps, just trying to figure out if VR Overpowered are going to be pushing over there.
And this is actually, I feel the Team Invictus have the upper hand, because even though had VR Overpowered had planted the bomb in the previous round, they could have posed on for SMGs as well, as we are going to look at the action at A right now, as we are going to see Jun, who is going to spot out 1 person from the under palace, and he's going to take down Jun as well. So Rippy is going to do the damage as well, and let's see how it's going to work out for them, because Owen is going to be the last guy alive for Team VR Overpowered, but all he has is about one M4 as well as about 3 HP, and I'm really intrigued to see how it's going to work out, the M4 being picked up by one of the players from Team Team Invictus. Looks as if
I like how his priorities is like, even though they're going to kill me, I just want to make sure that the M4 is not going to get picked up by Team Invictus's players.
But I don't get this. Even though if they are going to lose this round, they will be having enough money to go for the M4.
Yeah, but
look at that. See, that really was pointless.
Yeah,
I don't really understand why that was.
I guess that was just, making sure that, he did not want them to have that extra bit of gun. And not really going to be surprised because they did get that kill with the SMG, and SMGs obviously give more money, and that's not going to matter as much right now. As Invictus, they are going to have that 2-0 lead right now, and with round number 3, let's actually see how VR Overpowered are going to be proceeding, because they will be forced to eco. They did buy all deagles in their team in the previous round.
I mean, yes, as you just said, they are not actually going for the eco, but they are going for the pistols. P250s coming out there from all the 5 people from Team VR Overpowered. And no, that's not actually the same thing, as they are going to see the rush coming out there from Team VR Overpowered. That's not really going to do anything out there, because Binary Bug is going to get 3 right now, as Pasha Sahil is going to get 1 from his SMG, and that's going to be another as well. That's a clean wipe coming out there from Team Invictus. All the 5 of them still alive, and that was a good round coming into Team Invictus, and that was actually a quick pistol round getting over for Team VR Overpowered. And I really don't understand why they went for that, because even if they are going to go all out blazing going on to A, that was not really something which is ideal.
That was not the most optimal play coming up from VR Overpowered, and I'm not really going to bank on the fact that they have a disadvantage, because they have proven themselves to be masters of comeback. They have put up a really good fight against Team Invictus during game 1, and we do see VR Overpowered, they have those 5 AKs. They all are armed to the teeth with those utilities. As we see Binary Bug, he is going to go onto the Palace and gets that initial kill onto Danny. So that is going to be, their one of their most talented player from VR Overpowered. He is going to go down right now, and this is going to be a 5 versus 4. And we see Invictus, they actually have 2 ops in their lineup, and this is quite standard in a map like Mirage, where you're going to have one guy just going over at the CT ramp, and the other just trying to peek over at mid from Sniper's Nest. And we do see Jun over here. He is going to keep his eye onto the Sniper's Nest, as they are going to be making their way towards A probably. And we see the ladder room.
We actually see Ribby making his way from the ladder room, but it's going to be Owned who's going to draw that blood out there onto Pasha Sahil. And Ribby still has a clear idea that there are a couple of guys right under him. Let's see how it's going to work out right now, as Owned as well as his teammate are making their way on the way. But little do they realize there is a guy right under the smoke, and that is going to be Neto, and he's going to go down as well, and which is going to leave it right now into a 4v3 situation in favor of Team VR Overpowered. And the flash coming out there, literally not blinding at all for Binary Bug. And let's see how it's going to work out, as Binary Bug is going to take that run. And Invictus's Ribby is also kind of low, and I think how that is going to work out is just about we just wait and see how they're going to go for the retake, because the bomb has been planted as well. So that is going to add some kind of advantage on to VR Overpowered, given that one of Invictus's player is also kind of low. So I think the most optimal thing which he will be doing is, if they are not going to get a frag in just about some more time, they probably will be going for the same. And I think that is something which they should be going on for. It looks though as if they are making their way inside, and Ribby is going to go down, however, and now it's going to be a 2v3 in favor of Team VR Overpowered. A lot of time not in the hands of Team Invictus, so that is going to be a round in favor of Team VR Overpowered, as Masami pretty much knows that he cannot go and defuse it, even though he's got a kit. And that's going to be 1 round for VR Overpowered, the first round into the second game in the BL3 finals, I would say.
And that was, a really well-executed attack being made by VR Overpowered. And it felt like Binary Bug could have actually bought enough distraction for his team to actually make the rotation onto the A side, making sure that they got those crucial kills. But you saw Aju right here. If he actually got killed by the guy trying to peek over at T-Rams initially, that could have, gone either way. But sadly, that was not the case. Aju got that first kill, and we are going to be proceeding into round number 5, as Invictus have a 2-round lead over VR Overpowered, as Danny with that AK is gonna go towards B apartments right now.
I mean, all of them are making, 3 of them are making their way onto apartments, and the bomb is still at T-base. Probably they are waiting to see where the people are trying to spot out, or trying to see if Team Invictus are going to make that mistake so that they can make it pay. We are going to see about 3 people out there who are making their way onto A from Team Invictus. So I'm really surprised what the setup is going to be right now. The guy from mid has made his way onto A, but looks though as if Pasha Sahil is going to go down from Jin. And Ribby is already taken a lot of damage coming out there from the guy at apartments, and let's see see how it's going to work out for them, as Danny is making his way onto apartments. He's just waiting to see if they watch a lot of sides as well. You can never know. You may also see a guy coming right under from underpass and trying to go for the backstabs and all of that. So a lot of things are coming into the play when you are going to go on to B. So I think that is something which they really wanted to go on for, and I think that really did not work out well. Not because Team Invictus beat them or something like that, because of the a technical issue, I would say. As we'll actually see how they will be making it. As
let's actually see if these guys are going to go for the same strat or if they're going to change it up. Because that is, mind games upon mind games when technicalities like this are getting involved.
It looks though as if we are back into the game. It looks though as if the bomb has been planted, and that is going to be an A plan coming out there in favor of Team VR Overpowered. And let's see whether they are going to try to take it out and go for the. I don't think they are going to go for the retake, I would say, because let's face it, even though they have about one round advantage, the 2 round advantage, they probably didn't have a lot of money in their favor. As
they don't have money in the bank.
They're just going for pistol. All they have are USPs, and they just have about 1.5 to 2 grand each. So
and NATO's M4. That's it. And this is just getting very difficult for Team Invictus right here, as we are just going to be looking at round number 6 right now. Okay, it seems like Team Invictus, they have a lot of disconnects coming up from them, so we are going to be looking at a redo right now. The players are going to be reconnecting. Meanwhile, Tango, you saw that the last round NATO he had saved that M4. Do you think that is going to matter into the upcoming rounds?
I mean, yes, that is quite, something which anyone would be doing it, and I think that is something which can help them out in the upcoming rounds. So I feel this is something anyone would be doing. If you're not actually going to go for the retake, you could probably go and save it out, because we're just into the 6th round and there are a lot of rounds coming up, and that is something which you need to think about as well, because you don't want to damage your economy trying to go for the retake when it's quite impossible, because one of them didn't have a kit as well. If the guy with the kit had died somewhere else, and both of them were at different places. So I think a lot of risks are into the question. So thinking about all of that, I think it was a better idea for them to save, and they could probably use it in the next round, because as you know, they didn't have about more than $2,000 or $2,500, and that's not really going to help their case as well, even though they have a 1-round lead. So I think it is a smart play coming out there.
Do you think they can maybe squeeze out an SMG or 2 and then bank all of their money on utilities like the grenades and flashes, make sure that the enabling part is going to be there to make sure that they can perform a little bit better against VR Overpowered? Because
I mean, I wouldn't do that, because early into the game we just are going to go into the 6th round, and taking a risk like that is not going to really help me out. And I would probably wait for one more round, just go for my go for the eco or something like that, and then go for a full buy in the next round. And I think that is something which they would be wanting to do, and I think that is why they did that in the previous round as well. And it just differs from person to person. So I think
I guess I'm more of a all hands on deck person, because that is how I usually play, and that is how a lot of really confident players actually play. They are very confident in their skills, that they don't really care if they have an assault rifle or a UMP. And I guess it looks like Team Invictus, they are not going to be spending a lot of their money. They do have one person with 3 grand.
Or what can happen is probably the guy with the 3K brand.
He can give them a CZ or
probably P250 is coming out there from them, could do something for them, I would say, because he's the only one who's got about 3K plus of dollars, and I think that can do something, I would say, if they are going to try to stick it out, or probably try to stay at the same place or something like that. And that could probably help them out, as we are we'll be resuming shortly with the next round of that, as the match is still paused, and they are making the buys at the moment. We see about 4 AKs coming out there from Team VROP, and I think this can go for the same outcome as the previous game as well. We can see a lot of overtimes in this, because both of them are playing it right down to the wire. We saw Team VRO powered going down till the 2nd overtime in the map, which was picked by Team Invictus, which happened to be Inferno for the people who are watching it right now. And this is, however, picked by Team VRO powered themselves. So I think we have a lot to expect from them as well.
There's a lot of room for comeback, and VRO powered have proven themselves to keep this match a little bit more even, as Invictus, they don't have a really decisive lead, and VR Overpowered are already catching up to them, and they have the advantage right now. They have the buys, and Invictus, they only have NATO with that M4 and that, you know, fully kitted armor, the diffuse kit. He does not have a lot of utilities to work with, just one flash, while Master Me does have a smoke to work with. So they have to make it work with all they have, and it looks like Danny and his friends are going to be doing a little bit of distraction over
I'm really surprised how they are playing it right now, but looks though as if Danny is going to get that frag on to Master Me, who actually took down Own with that CZ. Let's see how it's going to work out. It's going to be VROP Faisal who's going to take down one as well, as Binary Bug is going to get one right on to Faisal's head, and that is going to level it right now, even though not on weapons I would say, but on the numbers I would say it's just a 3v3 at the moment, so it can go either ways. But we are looking at Team VRO Powered making their way on to B. That's actually a freebie, while we are going to look at one person from Team Invictus making his way onto market, so he can probably try to stop the plant or something like that if he's not going to get hit by the other person who's not making the plant. And let's see how it's going to work out, because Danny has a clear idea that Ribby is making his way from market. Let's see how it's going to get panned out right now, as Danny is making his way all the way behind Ribby, and looks though as if he can actually get this happening, and he has no idea what is going to come right behind him. Is he going to go for the knife or something like that? This is going to get really surprising, because I think he is going to go for that, and no, he actually goes and takes on two people out there. Trigger patience coming out there from Danny, making sure he's actually going to get those two people out there. The defuse is not going to get made. The Molly coming down at the right time, making sure VRO Powered are going to level this lead on.
The trigger patience actually worked out.
It really worked out pretty well. I thought if I was in that position, I would have gone for the knife. Probably the sound coming out there from the other player would have, you know, made him wait or something like that, and he took him down first, and then he took out the other person. So that is smart play coming out there from Danny. Just look at that. What
that was, you know, beautiful gameplay, getting rewarded for the trigger patience coming out from the side of Danny right there. And you see Jun, he also played it impeccably well, making sure that the Molly is going to be placed so he does not really get behind that cover and goes for the diffuse. And we are going to be seeing the scoreboards actually evened out right now, completely 3-3. And this is just okay. It looks like the round is going to get restored.
It actually got restored. Some kind of issue, I guess, with the players or something like that, or the PC. I'm not really sure about that. As we are gonna, I mean, this is actually I really can't, you know, pick a winner in this map right now, because the way both these teams are playing, I think I could reconsider what I'm saying, what I said in the start of the stream. Probably I wouldn't really say that, you know, Team VRO Powered are going to get a a 1-2 loss or something like that. I can even say that it can go either ways. It can either be Invictus who can win 2-1, or it can be VRO Powered going on to 2-1 or even 2-0, because the way both the teams are playing, we are going to see it go down right to the wire till I think the 6th round till the 7th round of the second game, right from the first round of the first game as well. We are
going to be getting into round number 7 right now, and this is looking to be really good, as both these teams do have that, you know, full buy, and our round is not really that exciting to watch unless both these teams are completely kitted out, and that exactly is going to be the case right here. As Invictus, we see Binary Bug is going to be playing under Palace, as there is going to be a guy over at Forest. And Danny,
let's see how it's going to work out, because we are going to see them push right on to A right now. The bomb is still right behind A mine, and we see 3 of them from Invictus making it, and it's going to be Danny who's going to take down the frag on there, and Ribby is going to take down Danny as well. A return frag coming out there with an assist of a wall bang, I would say, as this is going, I think this can go either way at the moment, as Binary Bug is going to take down Ajo as well. The bomb is still at Tetris, so this is going to leave Faisal as well as Own with a lot of things to do at the moment, because NATO has spotted one person, and he pretty much knows that there is another guy coming out there from Palace, and I think he spotted Faisal as well, while Own and Faisal are going to get this leveling right now, as it's going to be 2v2 right now, right from a 4v2, and now it's going to be a 2v2, as Binary Bug is holding his nerve at the moment, because he knows that there is a guy right on top of Palace, and if he's going to jump down right now, this could be that could be the round for Team Invictus, because both the callouts have been given there to Team Invictus, so this should be an easy round for them, as Binary Bug has, you know, shifted his place right towards the right hand side of where he was, so that could go either ways at the moment, because the bomb is still dropped. He's got about 30 seconds to react at the moment, so Faisal has not he's not got a lot of time to react, and just 20 seconds he just got to go and try to take the bomb and come back again, and that could go either ways, because if Binary Bug is not going to push it out or not going to make any sounds, this could be a round for them, and looks though as if that is surely going to be the case right now, because he's going to spot out one person, he's going to try to take him down. There's going to be one down out there, and he can take the bomb, but he has no no time to plant, I suppose. But no, that is going to go down as well. But he has enough time to plant. Go for the plant right now. But that is going to be Binary Bug who is going to go down. The plant is being made, and he is going to extend this round for a few more seconds at the moment as Master Me is making that long run away, and he has made his way onto A right now, and he doesn't know that there is a guy right onto A main. So he's scanning out. He's cutting out every place at the moment, and it's going to be Faisal who's going to peek out right now. That was totally unnecessary, I would say, given that, you know, oh, but that really turned out pretty well, even though the fake was not being made out there. But it, you know, didn't end up pretty well, I would say, because the kid has been taken there from one of the fallen teammates out there.
And Master Me did play that extremely well. He had the trigger patience. He had to make sure that he checked every possible angle for that plant. And having that plant, we did see that the player over at A ramp you know, just went down pretty much easily, and you have to give credit where it's due. Binary Bug did play that extremely well, that sneaky play coming in. He made sure that the guy who did make the rotations over from jungle and over towards the CT side, that he was getting spotted out, and he got that kill, even though he did get killed in return. And we are going to be seeing round number 8 right here, 4 and 3 in the favor of Invictus. A slender 1-round lead for them, as Master Me is going to be going towards the B side. I guess that is going to be his Nato,
who's going to take down 2 right now, and Owen has a really good chance of taking down 2 as well, but he just takes 1, and it's going to be another kill for Nato. He's making his way all the way on to mid right now, and that is going to be a perfect mid control coming out there for Team Invictus. 3 quick kills into this round, and that is going to leave Team VRO powered in a fix right now, as Ruby is going to take down one more person, and the bomb has been planted, but that is not going to help them out. Just about, you know, they
I guess the consolation prize.
Look at how they are playing. They are pretty much close to what they are doing, even though it happens to be their pick. You would probably expect them to play really well, and I feel that they are playing really well at the moment, even though the number of rounds are not going to go on to their control. But that is going to leave them into pistols right now, as we are heading into the 9th round of this game. 5-3 is the scoreline right now, 2 rounds in favor of Team Invictus. Let's see how it's going to pan out right now, as they are making their way onto A mains, and they are quite, you know, playing it really safe. They don't have much of utilities, given that they are going on their pistols, and they are making their way onto A right now. Little do they realize that Binary Bug is waiting right behind those boxes. That's going to be 2 kills for him, and make that 3. That's going to be 3k for him, and Danny is going to be the last man alive for Team VROP, while there are going to be 4 people out there for Team Invictus, while 2 of them are at A, and Binary Bug has no idea where he is, and he's going to spot him finally out there. He's going to switch on to his USP, and that's going to be a 4k for Team Invictus. Is Binary Bug, a beautiful play coming out there, and that is going to extend their lead on to 3 rounds at the moment, and leaving the scoreline at 6-3 at the moment. And beautiful plays coming out there from Binary Bug in the last 2 to 3 rounds is actually going to get his score onto the 13. That's going to take his score to the double digits, and his score is right now 13 kills. That's quite good coming out there in the 10th round of the game, I would say.
And it looks like the game is gonna be paused for now. I guess a bunch of these players do have a little bit of issues, as we did see previously, so that is gonna get sorted out in a little while. But ladies and gentlemen, this is looking to be quite an exciting game, because both these teams do have that really good control of this game. VRO Powered, they are letting it slip just a little bit in this previous 2 rounds, but I do hope that you know, they can get their head into the game, make sure that things are going to be going forward for them, and I guess this is going to be quite difficult. So Tango, do you actually have any idea what can go in their favor to actually turn this game around for Team Invictus?
I mean, the way they are playing it pretty safe, and I think that is helping them out. And I think that is something which can build up their pressure onto the whatever hold they have onto VRO Powered. I think they can extend it if they are continuing to play how they are right now. And I think the morale of them, of their players, is going to increase, given that they were able to get that first map out of them, coming out of nowhere in the first overtime, even though they were on a losing position in the first overtime as well as the second. They were able to get back and get those wins, get those round wins, and also the first map win. And I think that is something which is going to help them out, given that they are having a 3-round lead at the moment. And let's actually see how the scorecard is going to pan out right now. We actually see Ribbies with about 6 kills and 7 deaths with, and I think the Binary Bug with the 161 ADR is going to, that is going to do all the talking, I would say. He's been doing a lot of damage to all the people from Team VRO Powered, and that is something which we didn't see in the previous game from I think any of them. We saw a lot of 3Ks coming out there from, I think, Master Me as well as Danny from both
I guess
teams.
Binary Bug does not want Master Me to grab all the spotlight for himself, as he is showing some incredible gameplay in this map particularly. And if you notice, Binary Bug is one of those players who does go towards under palace gameplay, and he usually does, and we have seen it in the past 3 rounds, and he's performed in that extremely well. And it looks like Team VR Overpowered, they're checking every other corner except for under palace, and they are getting surprised every time that they do that.
I mean, not just that. If you actually had looked into how Binary Bug was playing, he was actually playing it really safe. He was switching his positions, and that is something I feel would that is something which is an added advantage to Team Invictus, because the way they are using their positions and all, that seems to be the reason why they are having the lead of about 3 rounds at the moment.
And this is going to be a really exciting round coming up right now. I guess the players are just gonna, sort out their technical issues, and we are gonna be getting into the game in just a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't really go anywhere. We are gonna be rolling up some commercials in a bit, and we are gonna see how exactly the game is gonna proceed. As VR Overpowered, they are doing extremely well.
Performance and design, the G502 gaming mouse is without question one of the most celebrated gaming mice ever made. Now Logitech G has improved upon the iconic with a new superior high-performance model, the Logitech G502 Hero Gaming Mouse. As its name implies, the new and improved G502 Hero Gaming Mouse is equipped with the next generation Hero optical sensor. It more than lives up to its moniker, with performance that far outpaces that of previous generation sensors, including the renowned PMW3366. A tremendous boost in its performance manifests itself with up to 16,000 DPI and the capability to exceed 400 IPS, all with zero smoothing and unbeatable accuracy. The Logitech G502 Hero Gaming Mouse also lands loaded with a wide range of customizable features. It boasts 11 programmable buttons, including a sniper button, which when held down switches the DPI to your precision aim preset. You can also tweak the mouse's balance to fit your personal preference, with 5 individual weights fine-tuning it from 121 grams to 139, whilst LightSync technology means you can enjoy visually stunning RGB lighting across 16.8 million colours. It also enjoys onboard memory for storing up to 5 different profiles, adjustable DPI with DPI shift, upgraded click switches, and an updated braided cable. To find out more about the new Logitech G502 Hero gaming mouse, just hit up logitechg.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be getting into round number 10 after that little bit of a break due to the technical issues, and we are going to be resuming no stuff getting given right now, as we do see that Jun is going to go towards A main. He is going to get his momentum getting stopped by that Molotov, as Rubiz, he is going to be looking towards mid, as Binary Bug, he does manage to get the kill onto Jun.
It looks though as if they are making their way onto B apps at the moment, as they are trying to see if they can spot out people out there, as they can probably go on and go for the plant, because the bomb is still at T base, a lot of distance to cover as well, and looks though as if it's going to be a 4v4 at the moment. And let's actually see how it's going to pan out. We see about 2 people from Team Invictus at A side, while we see a guy at jungle and the other one at B, the sole survivor at B, I would say, and it's going to be Danny who is going to spot out the guy who has taken down his teammate Own, and looks though as if he's going to take down one as well. 7 HP is what Danny's got at the moment. As he switches on to his pistol, he's trying to spot out Master Me at the moment. Can Master Me get a second kill at the moment? And he's going to take down one as well, and that is going to leave Aju with the bomb at B at the moment, and he's going to take down Master Me as well. He's going for the plant, but little did he realize Neto is also there, and he's going to take down the bomber as well. And Faisal is the last man surviving for Team VR overpowered. He's going to make that long walk all the way from T base onto B side to take the bomb, and what he has right now is just about 30 seconds and about 1 AK and a molly and a smoke. I think that is something which is not really going to help him out and prove his case at the moment, because we can see all the people from Team Invictus making their way onto B side, while another one is still at jungle at the moment.
And that is gonna, allow no stones left unturned for Team Invictus, as we are about Faisal will have to make his way towards that bomb, and NATO is just looking at those apartments like that is his Bible, as NATO, he is gonna make the rotation. He knows that there is not enough time for them to actually go for the plant, and maybe they want to go for the hunt, but I don't think that is something which they want to risk it. And we do see the initial kill coming up, as Binary Bug got that kill onto Jun. The Molotov actually delaying the push coming up from VR overpowered. I think that, sealed the deal onto Jun's fate, as he was, trapped. He could not actually go back. If he did, he would have made some noise or something, and he just stood there. I don't know for what reason, and, he just died.
I mean, it's quite always difficult when you're going to see through a Molotov, because it's not as easy and lucky as a smoke or something like that. You can just push out or something like that. That's not the case with the Molotov. So I think that is why he had delayed out there. He tried to spam it out, but a beautiful shot coming out there from Ruby. He's going to take down Jun, and also drawing the first blood into this 11th round in this game. And all of them being forced down to pistols, except for Faisal, who eventually managed to save that AK from the previous round. And looks though as if Team Invictus are in a in a comfortable position at the moment. 5 of them still alive, 4 of them with the M4s as well as one. The AWP coming out there from Ribbies is going to do a lot of damage onto VRO Power. Let's see how they are going to make it right now, as we see a couple of guys from Team VRO Power making their way onto apartments, trying to spot out the guys out there. But little do they realize that there is a guy right onto the right side of Danny, and he's going to take down both the guys. It's going to be Aju as well as Danny who are going to go down, and that was a good play coming out there, and that is going to leave Team VRO Power in a fix at the moment, because they actually relied on both these guys to wait and probably then go on with the bomb or something like that. And now it's just about 2 people who what they have at the moment, and let's see how it's going to pan out for them, as they are making their way at the moment right under they are making their way onto mid, and let's see how that is going to make the case at the moment, because they're making their way onto connectors, and they are throwing the smokes and mollies at the moment, and let's see how it's going to work out. It looks like there's one guy who is going to get stuck at the ladder room, and however, he's not going to take a lot of damage, so that really did not go onto their way. 20 seconds is all they have at the moment to make the plan, all trying to take down all the people, and it's going to be Faisal who's going to take down one, making this into a 2v4, and we still see one person right onto CD, another one at A-main, and the guy at A-main is going to go down. Pasha Sahil is going to trade it out, and that is going to leave them in a fix, because VRO Power is just with one person right now, and he's going to go down as well. That's going to be another round for Team Invictus. 5 rounds in their bag, and it's going to be the second round for VRO Power where they are not able to make the plant. For the second time in a row, they didn't have enough time to make the plant, or maybe the bomb carrier was going to go, or was going to be the first of the first 2 to 3 people who are going to go down.
And that is showing how much of an hit the economy for VRO Power is taking. They do have a full buy coming up right now, but if they do not manage to get a plan done in this round, they are not gonna have enough, economical security or something, because they will not be able to get those guns. They can't even buy SMGs if they lose this without planting the bomb. As we do see that the B-Apps rush coming up from the side of VROP is gonna get stalled up by the side of Team Invictus, as Faisal and John are going to go down, and Danny, he is not looking really healthy also. 45 HP for him, and he's just going to be looking through the smoke, waiting to see if any of these misfortunate people from Team Invictus are going to be making it. But Master Me is going to be towards his right side, and he is going to be getting the kill onto Danny, and follows it up with the kill onto Owned. But Aju is going to be able to take revenge onto Master Me, but no, NATO is going to be making the rotations right now, as Aju, he is low, and he is going to go down, as NATO is going to be there as the insurance policy for Team Invictus, making sure that VRO Power do not get the opportunity to place that bomb onto.
And just look at that. This is what I was talking about. Most of the time when Invictus are trying to get those 2 kills or 3 kills onto a person, that happens to be just from one guy coming out there from that one team, and I think that is that possibly is because I'm not taking anything away from them, but I would say that the way VRO Power are playing, they are sticking right close to each other, which is making it easy for the opponents to try to take or even spray it down, and that is eventually doing the job for them as well. So I think that is something they need to work on at the moment as they are making their way, and all of them on to their pistols right now. A couple of 3 Deagles coming out there, 1 Tech 9 as well as a P250, and it's going to be Ribby who's going to take down the first kill out there, right onto Apps with a jump, and he's going to it's going to be NATO who's going to spot a couple of guys. He's going to spray it down, not really connecting onto anyone at the moment, but it's going to be Owned who's going to go down from Master Me. A trade coming out there from Danny, which is going to give information that NATO is right below him, and let's see how it's going to pan out right now. The M4 being switched on again, and he's making his way onto the bench right now, but then that proves to be too many people out there for him to handle, as this is a brilliant play coming out there from Team VRO Power, as we see Faisal making his way all the way onto A, and he's going to clear out A for them, but that's going to give them a lot of time for Team Team Invictus to make their way, because VRO Power's bomber is now making the rotation all the way from B onto A, but it's going to be Pasha Sahil who's going to take down Faisal, and like I said, that is going to prove it a really that's going to prove really costly for Team VRO Power.
I feel like even though Faisal stayed in B, he could have actually planted the bomb if he did not try to follow up his teammate onto A.
You know what they could have done is, when both the guys from Team VRO Power, Danny and the other guy, they died out there, there was no reason for the bomber to go on to apartments or something like that. He could have just stuck with Faisal and gone for an A, because it was pretty evident that all the players will be coming on to B, and he was able to take down one person from A. Had he just been there, that would have been an easy plant and an extra dose of money for them as well. As we are heading into the 14th round, we see a full buy coming out there from Team VRO Powered, as they are going to go against 4 M4s and an off coming out there, but it's going to be Pasha Sahil who's going to spot out the first person. Ribby's going to take down 1, June is going to take down 2 as well, and Faisal's going to try to get that he's going to try to take the other person as well. And all of a sudden, in about just about seconds, we are going to see this into 2v2 while the bomb is still at T-base. While one person who happens to be Faisal is making the long walk all the way on to T-base to take the bomb, and Binary Bug is going to take down one person at A, which is going to give them information that there is a guy at B as well as A, and that is going to leave Faisal in a fix on where to go or where to plant it right now, because if he's going to plant it, that's at least going to do something for the next round, because mind you, the next round is going to be the last round of the first half, and already they just have about just about a couple of guys have about 1,400.
You don't have enough money to actually go for a full buy in the next round, and if they do get that plant, maybe they can suffice for some SMGs or something. As Faisal, he is going to be smoking up that CT area, and the grenades are going to get locked down. That is going to be dealing tons of damage, 32 HP for Faisal right there, and you see the Molotov getting thrown out. That is going to delay Binary Bug from making his rotations over there. He is going to try to jump and spot out his location. As Master Me, he is going to be able to get that kill on Faisal, and that is going to be quite an easy defuse. And look at that BM being done by Master Me. And that is, a clean round getting executed by Team Invictus.
And I think more than Invictus, I think VR Overpowered would have been happy with that round, because that is going to give them a lot of money for which they can buy their next round, which happens to be the last round of the first half. And even though that didn't go out pretty well in their favor, they were pretty close, given that all they had were pistols and all of that. And let's see how it's going to work out in the last round of this first half. 11-3 is the scoreline. Invictus with a huge lead at the moment. They have about close to about
this is around
8 rounds with them, so I think that is going to give them a room of that's going to give them a lot of cushion. I'd say they can try out new things at the moment, because this happens to be the last round, and we're going to see both the teams trying to fight it out against each other. The bomb's still at T-base, and this is something which VR Pod have been doing right from the start. They're not carrying the bomb with them, and that is actually biting them back, which they are not actually quite realizing at the moment, I would say, because if you had realized in the last 4 rounds, we saw them not able to make the plant at the moment because the bomb was at T-base, and these guys would have either gone on to A side or even B side, and that really did not work out well.
Once again, that is the case. The bomb is going to be dropped off at T-base, as Binary Bug, he is going to be Molotoving over at the palace right there. That is going to dissuade Faisal from moving forward, while NATO is going to be taking a little bit of damage. Age is going to be throwing down the HE grenade onto short, but no, he's going to get picked off by Ruby from that op, and that is going to be First Blood getting drowned up right here. Pasha Sahil is going to be looking towards the mid area right here through the connectors, as Ribby is also going to be doing the same, and this is just looking too much for VR Overpowered to handle. They are not gathered up right now. They are going to go back to the bomb, and they want to go back to the A side, going through the A ramp area.
I think this is not going to work out in their favor, because we already see about 3 people from Team Invictus already at A, and the flash is going to is actually going to blind them for a bit, and that is going to be 3 kills coming out there for Team Invictus, which is going to leave Owen as the last person alive. He's going to take the bomb as well, but that sadly is not going to be the case, and that is going to be the end of the first half. 12-3 is the scoreline, a huge lead for Team Invictus, and yeah, I guess a lot of just about a little bit of work for them left out in the second half of the game. All they need to do is just get about 4 rounds, but mind you, VR Overpowered just did the same thing in the previous map as well. They had a lot of 13-4 was the score when Team Invictus started to lose rounds quick, and that eventually went on to the first overtime, and that also went on to the second overtime, because both of them were going right down to the wire. As we are going to go on to the first round on the second half in the second map in this BO3, and let's see how it's going to pan out, because all of them are going to go on to this. I mean, we actually see it to the T side going on for armor as well as flashes, while we are going to see a couple of I guess 3 P250s coming out there from Team VR Overpowered, as Age is going to get the first kill out there, and it's going to be NATO who's going to trade it down, and Danny is going to go down as well, and it's going to be a 4v3 advantage for Team Invictus as they are making their way on the A side. Little do they realize that there is a guy at CT, but the plant is not going to be in his favor, so that is going to give them a lot of time for them to react, and now it's going to be a 3-on-3 for both these teams, while we see 2 of them from CT side from coming from the CT, and they are making their way on to the bomb side, and this is quite surprising to see, I would say. The defuse coming out there, trying to fake it out, but they do realize that there are a couple of guys right on jungle. Let's see how it's going to work out. There's going to be 1 person on for both these people right now. 2-on-2 is the scoreline right now, and there's going to be 1 more guy, and that's going to be 2 of them who are going to go down. That's going to be the first round for Team Invictus in the second half, and that is a good start for them, and that could probably be I think
the beginning of the end.
I guess that is not far from coming, I would say, because they just need about 3 more rounds from this, and having won the pistol round, also planting the bomb as well, that's not really go down well for Team VRO Powered, because they couldn't, even though they couldn't, defuse the bomb or something like that, they probably could have, they could probably would have tried to taken out them before they planted the bomb. Or
they could have gone for the kills, and that might have, given them some money in the economy, but that is not the case right now. As Team Invictus, they are just going to play this really patiently, as we do see they're going to be throwing down that smoke over there. That is going to block the CT's line of vision over there, and that is going to force them to, fight in close quarters.
But there is a guy at stairs right now, and if he's not going to spot him down right, oh, he does not spot him, but it's going to be Master Me who is going to take him down as well. Binary Bug was almost about to screw that up, but that sadly was not the case. But I think this cannot go in favor of Team VRO Powered, because all they have is about 2 pistols as well as an MP5. I'm not sure how that's going to work out right now, because the bomb has been planted as well. A lot of utilities still being used by Team Invictus. So this is not really going to go in this in Team VRO Powered's favor, as Invictus' NATO is going to take down 2 quick kills onto 2 players from Team VRO Powered, and that is going to be the end of the round for Team VRO Powered. That's going to be 11 round lead coming out there for Team Invictus. They have come back stronger from the first map, and I think that is something which a lot of teams would not possess, and I think I'll have to commend Team Invictus for that. 14-3 is the scoreline, 2 rounds away from winning this tournament, and I think a lot of pressure on the hands of on the shoulders of Team VRO Powered, because they just went for a full eco. I mean, they went for pistols in the previous round, and now they are forcing it out. 4 M4s as well as an AWP coming out there from Team VRO Powered, and 5 AKs against them from Team Invictus. So let's see how it's going to work out. We see 3 of Team Invictus' players making their way onto A main, but the bomber is still at he's making sure that he is right at the bottom fag from the behind. So let's see how it's going to work out for them.
And this looks like NATO does have the positional advantage. He is going to be getting the kill onto Faisal over at CT. He's going to be throwing that nade onto the jungle area, and also going to go for the flashes, making sure that the guys from connectors are not going to be getting a good angle, and the grenades getting thrown. Just making the best use of their utilities. As NATO, he is going to keep his eye onto CT, as Ajo is going to be there, but Ajo is going to be able to get that return kill onto NATO, and that does reveal his position, while Master Me, he's going to be able to get that kill onto Ajo, and the bomb is going to get planted right now. And this is looking to be the beginning of the end. 4 AKs versus 1 AWP and an M4. Jun, he needs to make the rotations happen right now.
I don't think he should be going for the rotations, because I feel like he should be going for the save, because this is a point of no contest in this round, I would say. What they can do is probably save the money and go for the next round, because all they have is about, just look at the economy of them, all of them not even costing about $400. So that is actually the safest thing to do, and I think they are looking for a comeback or something after this, because I think that is a bit too late, because Team Invictus are already on match point after this round. So this is going to be really hard for them to come back. Even though we have seen a lot of comebacks in the past from situations like this, this is not really going to work out pretty well for them, because this is something which is going to be really tricky, since they have about 2 players with guns, and all the others, they just have to force it out with whatever they are getting at the end of this round. And we are here in the match point in the second game of this BO3 finals, first game being won by Team Invictus convincingly, I would say. I mean, not really convincingly. I would say
it was very, toe-to-toe.
It was convincing for us to cast on, I would say. 22-19 is a really good scoreline as we are going into the match point over here. 15-3 is the scoreline. Team Invictus with a 12-round lead, and it's going to be Master Me who's going to trade out Aju with NATO going down first, and Master Me is going to get another as well. He is proving to be the master of 2Ks and 3Ks at the moment, and that's going to be Binary Bug who's going to add to the misery of them, and Ribby is making his way onto A side, while the Bomber is making his rotations all the way from mid onto A mains. And let's see how it's going to work out for them. This should be a task cut off well for Team Invictus, because this is going to be a 4v2 and make that a 4v1, because the Oppo Jun is going to go down. It's all about Owen to see whether he can do it. The location is being given, and this is going to be proving too many for Team VRO. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this game as well as the series, Team Invictus. They clinched this convincingly. That's going to be a 2-0 for them. 16-3 in the second map and 22-19 in the first one, which happens to be that was a really good contest, I would say, between both these teams. And the first map was even more better, I would say, given that we had about 2 overtimes in this game. And huge shout out to all the players out there as well.
Contrasting match though. The first match was so long and it was so even, and the second match it was like
I'd like to give credit where it's due. They played really well. It quite was unfortunate that they weren't able to play out well in their own pick, but they made sure that they gave Invictus a run for their money in their own pick, I would say. 19-22 is actually a good score, even if you're losing. But when it's actually the opponent's pick, that's going to give you a lot of morale. And sadly, that was not the case in the second map. Even though they tried their best, they really couldn't help it out pretty well. They really couldn't, get those bomb plants on time. A lot of times we saw them trying to go for the plant, and they didn't have a lot of time remaining to go for the plant as well. So that is something they really needed to work
also,
out.
it felt like Team Invictus were just debating VRO to get into those fights. Especially, you saw one of those fights where the defuse was supposed to happen, but you saw guys from jungle and the guy from A main. They were just, shooting from all sides, and these guys were running around like chickens with their heads cut out.
I mean, it was quite sad to see that, but in a game of CS:GO, things happen and you just have to carry on, and that is what they did. And I think they played it out really well. Looking at the scorecard right now, beautiful play coming out there from Faizan Farooqi, 22 kills and 12 deaths with an ADR of 130. We see about 2 people from Team Invictus going on with 100 plus ADRs, which means that they really did a lot of damage onto Team VRO Power's players, and that is I think a convincing win for them. 16-3 is a good score to come back again after almost losing it out and winning it in 22-19. So I think that's huge props to both these teams. I think Team VRO Power played it out really well. A huge credit to them for making this happen, and they came right down to the wire. Both the teams did that in the first game, and I really had fun casting both these games, I would say.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have the winner of the Winter Shield 2018, and that is going to be Team Invictus.
And huge props to them, because we saw them play as a really good team, I would say, right from the start of the tournaments on to the finals as well. And even though the first game didn't go, it went in their favor, but not in a way they were expecting it to. The second game was truly theirs for them. They could have actually won it in the regulation time when they had a lead of 7 rounds or something like that. Sadly, that wasn't the case, but they managed to show how good a team that VRO Powered were, and I think that is something I will cherish at the end of this event, I would say, which happens to be now also.
And a huge shout out to Aju. By the way, I called your name right, unlike a lot of other people who, say the J as well.
I mean, you get the point. So all the players played really well, and I think that is a really good game I would like to cherish. And Aju, your friend out there, is actually the MVP of the second game for his team. That is 7 kills and ADR of 36. It's not something that's really great, but the way they had played, it was pretty. It's quite unfortunate they couldn't win the second game, but they were able to put out a really good fight in the series. So I think that is huge props and a learning experience for them as well. Maybe the next time they could probably even try to win this. And I think they have a really long way to go. And I really feel that they really humbled all the players out here the way they played.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's about it. Team Invictus are going to be the winners of Winter Shield 2018, and the runners-up are going to be VRO Power.
Once again, guys, a huge shout out to all you guys for making this happen, as well as our sponsors, Logitech, as well as Playmax, for making this happen. And I think this is where it all ends. A beautiful crowd at Hyderabad, and also this event.
The beautiful food also. Not beautiful, tasty food. I mean, I'm very bad at English, but okay.
So yeah, I guess this is about time where we are going to wrap it out. This is me, Tango, also known as Sriram Vishal.
And this is Siddharth Prashant, also known as Old Bear, and I'm going to be signing off right now.
friend. I am tired of this stock AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to playtonia.com, man? Play what?
multiple awards for its exceptional performance and design, the G502 gaming mouse is without question one of the most celebrated gaming mice ever made. Now Logitech G has improved upon the iconic with a new superior high-performance model, the Logitech G502 Hero Gaming Mouse. As its name implies, the new and improved G502 Hero Gaming Mouse is equipped with the next generation Hero optical sensor. It more than lives up to its moniker, with performance that far outpaces that of previous generation sensors, including the renowned PMW3366. The tremendous boost in its performance manifests itself with up to 16,000 DPI and the capability to exceed 400 IPS. All with zero smoothing and unbeatable accuracy. The Logitech G502 Hero Gaming Mouse also lands loaded with a wide range of customizable features. It boasts 11 programmable buttons, including a sniper button, which when held down switches the DPI to your precision aim preset. You can also tweak the mouse's balance to fit your personal preference, with 5 individual weights fine-tuning it from 121 grams to 139, whilst LightSync technology means you can enjoy visually stunning RGB lighting across 16.8 million colours. It also enjoys onboard memory for storing up to 5 different profiles, adjustable DPI with DPI shift, upgraded click switches, and an updated braided cable. To find out more about the new Logitech G502 Hero Gaming Mouse, just hit up logitechg.com.
My friend, I am tired of this stock AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to playtonia.com, man? Play what?
Hello, mic test, 1, 2, 3. Can you increase? May I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Hyderabad. Okay, so Hyderabad, are we alive tonight? I can't hear you. Are you guys alive tonight? All of you guys, esports? Video games! Rainbow Six Siege! Okay, so yeah, we are going to be doing the prize distribution for CS:GO and PUBG Mobile right now. So may I call upon Mr. Ravi Kiran from Go Live Studios. Give a huge round of applause for Mr. Ravi Kiran from Go Live Studios. May I call upon Mr. Krishna from Playmax Interactive. May I call upon Mr. Salapam from Playtania. Just because the man's little doesn't mean that you have to, you know. Okay. So, we are going to be starting off with the CSGO winners. On second place, we have Team VRO Power with 50,000 rupees, which they have won today. Give a big round of applause for CSGO, ladies and gentlemen. I said your name right. And may I call upon the first place, the winner of Winter Shield 2018, Team Invictus! Who, by the way, won 1.3 lakhs. So, excuse me, sir. So the second place, VRO Powered, the 50,000 rupees is going to be given by Mr. Ravi. Okay, it's already been given. It's kind of anticlimactic. So the first place, Team Invictus, their 1.3 lakhs is supposed to be given by Mr. Sanapam. Okay. Okay. And there is a giveaway, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be given by Mr. Krishna. A huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Can we have a shout out for CSGO? I would like the gentleman to stay here, except for the teams. Okay, can we have the winning team pose for a photo? Oh. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, that was not the end of it. So, yeah, the game which has taken India by storm, PUBG Mobile. I can't really hear you. Okay, that's more convincing. So on third place, we have Team Mafia. Can we get you guys on stage, please? Team Mafia has won 10,000 rupees and it is going to be given by Mr. Krishna.
Krishna, okay, not Kashyap, man, Krishna.
And over on the second place, we got Team Inglorious. I can't say the second name. I can't say this. I can't. It's a name of a movie, by the way. I can't say it. I can't. I can't. Do I get a thumbs up? Okay, for the second place, we have Team Inglorious Bastards! The prize by Mr. Ravi. And ladies and gentlemen, Inglorious Bastards have won 20,000 rupees! Ladies and gentlemen, for the first place of PUBG Mobile, winner shield is going to be Rain with 30,000 rupees. A huge shout out to PUBG Mobile, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay.
Good job, man. Nice energy.
Okay.